also special appreciation to members of Kwanza who have been on a lull, have not been here for a long, long time. And we are talking of Division Director, DTM Magin Jaroge. Thank you so much for joining us. And we also want to say a big appreciation to the DTM Rosie Rana, somewhere around here. Rosie Rana, thank you so much for joining us. As we have this meeting for the day, I am so elated, I am so excited. Why? Because we are going to have an evening that is full of fun, full of energy, because what is lined up ahead of us, you have no idea. But stick around and you shall be excited. For those of us who are joining us for the first time and you're wondering, who is or what is Toastmasters all about? Well, Toastmasters is a global communication and leadership organization that helps people globally grow and to harness their leadership as well as their communication skills, which include public speaking. Guess what? This year, Toastmasters International is celebrating its centenary anniversary. That means 100 years. Now, 100 years celebration, now that speaks a lot about who Toastmasters is all about. So this evening, as I welcome you, I'd like to remind you that Kwanza Kenya gives us this opportunity to be able to practice an enabling environment for both the guests and the members alike, to be able to practice your public speaking skills, grow in your self-confidence, become more articulate, and most important of all, become a better public speaker. Now, for those of us who are joining Toastmasters to be able to become better public speakers, you're in the right place, and we say, welcome. Guess what? All of us once sat in the place you're sitting, and we were also ogling and wondering, can I speak like that person? Yes, that's where we all began, and that's where you are going the more you hang around here. Now, without much ado, I'd like to welcome our Sergeant at Arms, that is Fidel Owiti, to come and give us what the protocols for this meeting. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, Madam President. And thank you everyone for coming to Grace Kwanza meeting number 970. Now my name, as has been said, is Fidel Owiti, and tonight and forever, I am your Sergeant at Arms. Now my roles, I have two roles here. The first role is to reinforce what Madam President has said, to welcome you and to urge you to feel at home and enjoy the evening. Secondly, my role is also to outline the protocols guiding this meeting so that it runs smoothly and seamlessly. And the first protocol, the first rule guiding this meeting is that ensure, for those in the physical room, ensure that your gadgets are put on mute or on silent, or better yet, switched off to avoid interrupting our speakers and our program. Secondly, those following online, we urge you to put your microphones off. We're not speaking, again, to avoid unnecessary disruptions and interruptions. Thirdly, I urge, again, those following here in the physical meeting room to ensure that you avoid any unnecessary movement or engagements that will interrupt our speakers. And finally, those following online, again, ensure that you put your videos on so that we have an interactive and engaging meeting. But finally, and most importantly, I urge you to have fun, enjoy this evening, because if it is not fun, it is not Toastmasters. But finally, I also want to urge you I want to speak of something here. You all, I hope you all have these ballots. We've noticed that sometimes we misuse, for lack of a better word. So when you read it here, we have first speaker, we have second speaker, we have third speaker, and down. Most of the time you only use the ballots and you don't give feedback. So we also urge you to give our role takers and speakers feedback using these ballots and brief evaluations so that we grow together. Thank you, Madam President.
Give them a round of applause, please. I'd like to now welcome our Secretary, Madam Christine through the minutes of last meeting so that we can have the minutes adopted. Let's welcome, please. Let's welcome her. Good evening, Toastmasters again. Good evening.
The minutes of meeting 973 were circulated on Sunday, the 24th of March. By a show of hands, any member who did not receive the minutes via email, online. If there is any member who did not receive the minutes, please side chat me so I can add you to the mailing list. You can let me know later. Any amendments, corrections, or matters arising from the minutes of meeting 973 by a show of hands, anyone? Online? Okay. Seems no amendments or corrections. I would therefore ask for a proposer for the adoption of the minutes. Proposer. Thank you, Maria. Seconder. Thanks, Ian. All in favor of adoption of the minutes for meeting 973 by a show of hands? All not in favor? Online, anyone? All right, since majority are in favor, I hand it back to Madam President for adoption of the minutes.
Minutes of meeting number 973 are here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the cuts of the meeting, we are about to get into another segment, which I'm still looking forward and believing that it's going to be an exponential time. I'd like to welcome our Toastmaster of the day. And for those of us who do not know who a Toastmaster of the day is, that is essentially the master of ceremony. Now, our master of ceremony of the Toastmaster of today has many hats. First of all, he has only been a Toastmaster for 16 months, to the month, 16 months only. And within that period of time, he has grown in leaps and bounds. And not only has he taken so many meeting roles, but he is also our official club treasurer, or in other words, Mr. Moneybags. Now, Mr. Moneybags is a ball of fun. I mean, he's the epitome of humor. Find out for yourself, and has a lot of tenacity. He's a dulcet. I'm trying to get that word. He's a dulcet being who started off very scared. But guess what? He's scared no more. And the reason he says he's not scared anymore is because he's led by one quote, and that is, yesterday I was clever. I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise. I'm changing myself. That's a quote by Rumi. And guess what? That's exactly what Toastmasters does. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome Ian Mbugi to come and take us through the next segment.
Kiwasha simu sio ni call tupige ile story.
Fungulia TV uone vijana wako wakifanya mambo ndani ya mitambo
Sorry for that. I have fantastic so bear with us as we try one more time. If it comes on, better. If it doesn't, we move on. Have you ever been introduced by someone and then they've given you so many accolades, you left wondering, is that me really? That's what I felt as Madam President was introducing me. I actually knew that I'm full of humor and wit. And then by the end of the meeting, none of you is laughing, right? Okay. I like that. I like the crowd. So for me, I like to have an engaging crowd. So please, if a speaker has come here, please, I need you guys to clap, because it takes a lot of courage and energy to come here and speak. For me as well, you need to clap for me, especially when that song is made. Please. I'm guessing. Please.
Niaje mama. Nimeona
Go ahead, just go ahead.
umetry
That's all right.
nikawa nilikuwa studio.
We'll fix it and then towards the end.
Anyway,
Okay.
ukiwasha
Please,
simu
is
nilikuwa
that a thank you very much now. Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and the online community. Good evening. Good evening. Like I said, energy. We must satisfy what Madam President has said. A lot of humor, wit, a lot of energy. And it's so brilliant to see all of you here. So brilliant to see your smiles. You guys look amazing. And I'm hoping that the week has started off well for you guys. And I hope today's meeting will continue to help you to feel like you have an amazing week as well. And so welcome to meeting 974 of Kwanza Kenya Toastmasters Club. I am thrilled to be your Toastmaster of the day. And with my dulcet voice, I am excited to introduce to you the theme of the day, which is do it scared. Theme of the day is do it scared. Have you ever tried something new? Something out of your comfort zone, out of the ordinary? First level of resistance that you usually find is yourself. There's a voice that is hell-bent on pulling you down, on holding you back, and to tell you or show you how much unequipped you are for the task that you want to do at hand. It is called fear. And this voice that we call fear is mannerless. My name is Ian Mbugi Karobia. I'm a Kenyan of Kikuyu descent. So allow me to pronounce my name properly. My name, as my grandmother will call it, Iani Mbugi Karobia. I'm a Kenyan of Kikuyu descent. And let me tell you something interesting. My name, Bugi, it's a reference to the bell that is hung around goats, sheep, or cows as they're left to graze. You know that bell, bling, bling. That's what Bugi means in Kikuyu. It's a voice, and it's supposed to create awareness so that the shepherd can know where the sheep are and where they're grazing at. That is the name of the person standing here in front of you today. What you may not know about myself today is that I am doing it scared. This is my first time to be here. There we go. Now you're getting a hang of it, right? Remember when I told you that fear is man? Tell me why, when I was first asked to volunteer for this role, I lied out it, told them I'm not qualified for that position. Told them that on the phone, easy. Then I made 2 calls. The first person gave me a tongue lashing and asked, why do you want to stay in your comfort zone, Brad? Why don't you want to be great? The second one was more empathetic and gentle. You can do this here. Actually, I have a script and a manual for you. Here, go ahead. And just like that, my name was volunteered. Posters were made of my face. I hope you have seen. And right now I stand here in front of you today with wobbling. In life, fear and doubt will inevitably pop up, and especially on the times we least desire. Your job and mine is not to worry about the fear or the outcome of your actions. Our job is to lean on the side opposite, to acknowledge fear's presence in the moment, and to actively make steps towards your intended goals, regardless of the situation. Doing it scared is not blocking the fear or anxiety in the moment. Rather, it is accepting what it is. It is a feeling. Acknowledging the feeling and making the steps required all together. That is what doing it scared means. There's a saying, and I hope I wrote it down who said it, but I know most of you have heard it. We suffer more in our imagination than in real life, right? I think it's Marcus Aurelius, something like that, yes? Or Seneca. Seneca, I know it's one of those Stoic guys. I'm trying to Stoic today. So we suffer more in our imagination than in real life. Doing it scared ensures that the suffering is minimized. And the fulfillment is 100%. Listen, after today, nobody can tell me that I cannot do TMOD. Come on. I've already made all of you like laugh for 4 times right now. Good to go. Yes. They say that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So watch me take my shots today. All right. Tonight is a speakathon. So for those of you who may not know what a speakathon, it's a meeting full of speakers, a marathon of speakers, I might say. So we'll not be having that section of table topics, and you'll get to see that the role takers, few of them will be reduced. So today is a speakathon, a marathon of speakers. And what better way, and which better person to usher in a speakathon than the man himself? Yes. And to start us off, I hope that the speakers in front of you, I myself included, will entertain you, educate you, and more importantly, show you why doing it. To start us off, let's begin by introducing the role takers of tonight. And I have a team, a lovely team, who will help me, will assist me in ensuring that you guys have a delightful meeting of 974. First of all, it starts with all of you here. Your energy, we need to feel it. We need to feel your enthusiasm. And I'm liking the way we've started, right? So give a round of applause for all of you. That's how we do it. So allow me to introduce our first role taker. Our first role taker is a timer. And the time of the evening is none other than our SAA, Fidel Owiti. And before then, I asked all different role takers and speakers, what's in the last 1 year? What's that one thing that they have done and done it scared? And what was the outcome? And so this was Fidel's response. One thing that he has done scared is taking on leadership roles within Toastmasters and without. The outcome is that it is not as hard as he initially thought. And people are always ready to help you once you put your heart into the ring. The value he has added into people's lives dwarfs any fears that he initially had. So Fidel, welcome and tell us about your role today.
Thank you, Mr. TMOD. My role this evening is simple, to help you keep track of time. And I'll do that in simple ways. I'll do that through some signals here, both for the online speakers and role takers, and also for the role takers physically present here. We have prepared speeches. For prepared speeches, they are between 5 to 7 minutes. At the 5th minute, I will raise a green card or I will raise a green card or a green I will raise a green card or show you a green background for the online audience, for the online speakers. At the 6th minute, I will raise this amber. This is amber or yellow, amber, for the physical audience, and for the online speakers, I will show you a yellow background. And at the 7th minute, I will show you red. This is red. You're wondering why they're different? We are doing it scared. Red, I will show red. I will show red card, red flag when you're done with your speech at the 7th minute. For the online speakers, I will show you a red bag. And then the evaluations, they are between 2 to 3 minutes. At the 2nd minute, I will raise this green or green background. At the 2.5 minute, 2.5 minutes, I will raise this amber or yellow. And then at the final minute, I will do red, 3rd minute. And then we have a special speech that is 20 minutes. At the 18th minute, I will raise green. At the 19th minute, I will raise amber. And finally, at the 20th minute, I will raise red or show a red background. Please keep time.
Thank you very much. Our next one taker is a new member of Toastmasters, and I want us to show him the love, the warmth, so that he can feel his courage is improving, his confidence is getting up as he introduces to us his role. Please, and then welcome to the floor.
Hello, everyone. As previously stated, I'm Gideon Joseph. I'll be the grammarian. As the grammarian, I have 3 roles. The first role is to note the good use of the English language, which could include like proverbs, phrases, and expressions that really catch my ear. The second role is to note badges of the English language, which could involve like wrong use of grammar, wrong pronunciation, incorrect structure of sentences. And the third role is to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day today is dulcet. I think you can see the paper. It's pronounced dulcet, yeah? Dulcet. And the meaning of dulcet is pleasant or agreeable to the eye or the feeling. In other words, soothing. And a person who's dulcet is generally pleasing or agreeable. Some examples are: the speaker had a dulcet smile. The evaluator used a dulcet voice to give feedback. Record the dulcet tones of your family and friends singing together. Yes, thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. Now we go to the prepared speeches. This session brings forth an excellence of our speakers, as we will witness. And the first speaker in line to dazzle us is none other than Joy Christine. When asked what is one thing she has done that she's done scared, she said, joining Toastmasters after 4 years of procrastination. She did it scared. Usually she would watch from the sidelines as speakers came here and performed and wondered, was I adequate enough? Will I be able to match their level of confidence and eloquence? The outcome, since she has joined, she says that she's actively working towards the outcome, which she has not yet stated, and says that she trusts that the journey she is on is an excellent one and will deliver her the required fruits. Evaluating her is none other than, remember earlier I told you there's one lady who gave me a gentle talk, and that's the one who was about to, and she gave me a script to go and told me, go try, that's the one now. It's none other than our VP, our Vice President Education. That is Mawia Gishuhi. And when I asked her what she has done scared in the last 1 year, she reckons that taking up the VPE role and being uncertain that she will be able to uphold the requirements of the role. The outcome that she has learned in that doing it scared, you get to learn and grow, and that she has done. I will argue personally that she is thriving in that role. Don't you all agree? Don't you all agree that Mawia is thriving in that role? Thank you very much. Now, please, Mawia, kindly welcome to the stage and explain to her the parts of the document.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Our first speaker this evening is none other than Joy Christine Marete, who will be at the project in level 1 of the presentation mastery. Joy Christine this evening is going to deliver a speech titled Start to Finish. Start to Finish. The purpose of this project is to learn to review basic methods of writing a speech within a defined purpose, and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Joy Christine, start to finish, Joy Christine.
How many of you have thriving businesses? And how many have registered companies that are now dormant? Maybe they operated, but now they have ceased operations. A research by Professor, I have seen a hand, a research by Professor Goff of Harvard Business School indicates that 75% of startups fail. 22% fail within the first year of being launched, half fail within 5 years, and approximately 2/3 fail within 10 years. So tonight, I am going to be giving a few tips of thriving in entrepreneurship based on my personal experiences. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My childhood, my entrepreneurship journey dates back to my childhood, when my mother would give my siblings and I parcels of land and encourage us to farm any crop of our choice, which she would later buy from us. Needless to say, she would also provide the seed and the fertilizer. I remember this particular season when I had a bumper harvest of 5 kilograms of beans, which amounted to about 600 Kenya shillings. And that was good money back then. You know, that was money that I could buy snacks for about 3 months with. In our time, we did not have extravagant snacks like Kuba Buba. I'm sure mothers can relate. Kinder Joy, Skittles, at least not in the village where I grew up. Moving on to campus, I would buy clothes in the vibrant night Ngara markets and sell to my friends in campus. And while in 4th year in campus, my friends and I registered our first company, which was meant to mentor high school students. We really felt that we were up to the task. So when we were ready for our first event, we went full throttle. We did flyers. We went to churches, we would market, give the flyers to parents as they left the church. We timed, of course, a holiday season, give them to the young teenagers. And we booked a hall and got a moderator, and we were ready for the event, of course, to mentor and make some bucks while at it. And on the day of the event, do you know how many people turned up? 6. Myself, 4 of my partners, and our moderator. Our hearts were crushed, to say the least. And then after campus, a friend of mine approached me with a great business idea. A doctor in Pangani was relocating to the US, and he was selling his very busy clinic. I thought that was an awesome business idea. So we joined forces and acquired these premises. We were quite young in employment and wanting to safeguard our first jobs. We got someone, we hired someone to run the business for us, which was not a very good idea, as we did our 8 to 5 a.m. job. After some time, we realized that the number of patients kept trickling down and down. And then we came to learn that these patients were actually just loyal to the doctor who had long left. So after 18 months of losses, we closed shop. So all these experiences sound like failures, but they have been a learning
ground for me, for my current venture in medical supplies. So you would then ask yourself, what does it take to start and finish in this journey of entrepreneurship? Number one, take time to develop essential skills to run a business, such as time management, critical thinking, resilience. I think for my case, a lot of them actually were lack of resilience. Today I feel that if I had a little more resilience, I would have done better, more excellent. Number two, ensure that your business is grounded on a solid, what do I call it? Opportunity. So make sure that you know that there is an opportunity for your product or service. And finally, have a success mindset. The success, the more you think about success, the more you pursue it and explore. And also the success mindset will help you rekindle that fire of inspiration when you want to give up. As Jessica Herring, the CEO and founder of Stellar and Dot said, you have to think of failure as the beginning and the middle, but you can never entertain it as an end. Back to you, Mr. Tiebudi.
I am willing to make a bet that she has a success. That's why today her speech was very successful. And our second speaker today will be online and will be one Angela Kithua, who happens also to be our Vice President membership. When asked what is the one thing she's done that she's been able to do scared this year, she said that she agreed to make a presentation to her organization's global team on a new program that was being piloted. The outcome was that the feedback she received was amazing and motivational. She will be evaluated today by one Francis Junguna, also who happens to be online. And when asked the same question, he replied that he ran this year's Wangari Maathai half marathon. It was his first. The outcome was that it affirmed his belief in himself and it increased his motivation to be able to go and do other things. Francis, are you ready? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you try?
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah.
Try
Can you hear
again.
me? Yeah, testing. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Francis.
Okay. I think the
Yes, Francis, you can hear us?
yes, I can hear you. The online team can hear us.
Yes.
Can you hear me in the room?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yes, we can.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'm going to be evaluating the speech by Angela Kithua. Angela is presenting project number 3. I think on the program it has been indicated as project number 1, but it's project number 3 of her level 2 of the innovating planning pathway. The title, the introduction, the project title is Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. And the purpose of the project is for Angela to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring, and she's going to share some of the aspects of her experience as a protege or as a mentee in the context of mentoring. Angela's speech title is Embracing the Unexpected. She is going to deliver the speech in 5 to 7 minutes. Angela Kithua, Embracing the Unexpected, Angela Kithua.
In life, mentorship emerges as a golden thread that weaves through our experiences, guiding us from darkness into the light of understanding and growth. As I reflect on my own personal journey, I am reminded of the profound impact that mentorship has had in shaping the person that I am today. Growing up as an eight-born in a bustling household, I often found myself lost in the shuffle of my older siblings. Yet, amidst all this chaos, there was a silent force that shaped my path. It was a moment as simple as learning how to mop a corridor through a gentle guidance by a principal's secretary that ignited a spark within me. A small act of kindness, a brief moment of instruction, but one that left an indelible mark in my soul. To Betty, wherever you are, I owe you a debt of appreciation for lighting my path. Transitioning into my professional world, I found myself content with remaining behind the scenes, orchestrating events at the comfort and safety of my keyboard. But fate had other plans for me. And in the form of undetermined supervisor, I was thrust into the spotlight. She saw beyond my apprehensions and pushed me to embrace challenges that I never thought were possible. I can never forget a day that she entrusted me with a media interview. The fear was palpable, but so was determination to raise above it. And raise I did. All thanks to her unwavering support and belief in my abilities. But sometimes life has an unexpected way of throwing curveballs our way. I am talking about my unexpected foray into priesthood. Oh yes, you heard that right. In a land where churches are as rare as a unicorn sighting, I was thrust into a role of a priest. This is a role that I never envisioned for myself. But when duty called, I responded. Little did I know, my dear friend orchestrated this moment in a form of a gentle nudge, disguised as a crisis. But hey, sometimes the best mentors are those that sneak up to us in the moments that we least expect it. Through his guidance and support, I gained the confidence that I needed to stand in front of my congregation and share a word of inspiration and faith. It was not only in these spheres that mentorship found me, but also within the nurturing embrace of Toastmasters, where I found a supportive mentor who was willing to walk alongside me, listening to my every stumble and triumph. Her unwavering support, willingness to listen, and sacrifice her energy and time really spoke volume into the transformative power of mentorship. But then, what is the moral of all these stories that I am talking about today? Mentorship is not all about scheduled meetings and formalities, but it is also about those unexpected moments of guidance which turns our world upside down in the best possible way. Whether it is a quick tip from a colleague, a push from a supervisor, or even a friend who blackmails you into priesthood. Whether it is a simple encounter that sparks a 360 degree of transformation, or a lifetime of guidance that shapes our own essence. Mentorship really is the cornerstone upon which greatness is built. So, as we traverse this path that has been laid before us, let us not forget the mentors that have paved the way, nor forget to pay it forward by mentoring others. For in the words of Maya Angelou, when we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone is blessed. Let us embrace the opportunities before us to learn from the people who have gone before us, and also give back to the community by nurturing the next generation of leaders. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Angela. For those of you who do not know, Angela is presenting us all the way from Kakuma refugee camp and just be able to deliver that speech. So again, another round of applause. Now, our third speaker of the day.
You are on mute, Ian.
Well, thank you very much, Angela. So I'll begin again. So our third speaker of the day is none other than Edwin Kaduki. When asked what is the one thing that he did scared in the last 1 year, he responded by saying that he tested his luck out by participating in this year's humorous contest. He reckons that it's very scary to try and be funny. The outcome is that he did it, plain and simple. He did it. And a step at a time, he was able to learn, and he learned a lot. I was there witnessing this, as I was also a participant. And let me just tell you, he did not just do it. He went for the humorous contest, succeeded, then went to the area contest, and just slimly, narrowly missed a chance to take us to the division. So that is Edwin Kaduki for us. And evaluating him will be none other than Jared Ouko. Is Jared in the room? Jared in the room? Jared? Okay, if Jared is not yet in the room, Joyce Kaduki, are you ready? We thought this might happen. Joyce Kaduki, are you ready? When I asked Joyce Kaduki earlier, first of all, the unique thing is that they're both Kadukis, and that is what I wanted for them to do so, and then changes here and there. But as Joyce Kaduki is preparing herself, when I asked her what's the one thing that she's done scared this year, she said that she's started to say yes to collaborating with other people on projects. And right now she has an ongoing project in which she's collaborating with other people, and it's a huge project. The outcome, it is continuing, it has already and still is continuing to stretch her, and she's being able to learn quite a bit. So Joyce Kaduki, if you're ready, kindly introduce to us the speech by Edwin, the title and the objectives.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster Ian. DTM Jared is unable to unmute himself right now. So what I will do is set the stage by introducing Edwin's speech. And hopefully by the time the evaluations come up, Jared will then deliver the report. So Edwin is delivering his speech from level 2, project 2. And the purpose of this project is for Edwin to practice delivering, excuse me. Sorry about that. The purpose of this project is for Edwin to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members, and he's going to do this online. He is completing this project and has spent time preparing the social speech. The title of his speech is Congratulations. He has 3 to 4 minutes to deliver the speech, and therefore, I present to you Edwin Kaduki. Congratulations. Congratulations, Edwin Kaduki.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, it's a great honor for me to stand before you today as we celebrate Evans on this remarkable achievement as he graduates with an MBA in strategic management. I was privileged to have a front row seat on what it took for him to get here. It's a story of grit, perseverance, and hard work. Apart from countless nights, weekends, and holidays sacrificed, he also had to make some tough choices along the way. This journey began in the most unexpected of ways. Back in high school, Evans was sure that he wanted to be a doctor. He was a great student then, and everyone expected to do well as a doctor. It therefore caught us by surprise, therefore, when a few months into his second year, he declared that he was definitely not planning on being a doctor anymore. There were plenty of hard discussions with friends and family alike, as we were not convinced that he should drop out of med school. Well, he had clearly thought through it, because as much as there was so much uncertainty, he did it scared. He went into business school, which some were also not convinced that that was the right way. But he eventually graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration and quickly showed us that this was not just a fallback course. He had a strong interest and talent in business, as we all came to learn. With characteristic zeal, he embraced his new career path and swiftly ascended within his organization to head the sales team. Amidst his professional endeavors, he was also blessed with a loving wife and 2 adorable kids. It was therefore remarkable that during all this action, he decided to go back to school for his MBA. As his good friends, we all told him that he'd beaten too much. Juggling the responsibilities of parenting and a demanding career while taking up this course was going to be extremely difficult, and we didn't think that he needed to do it. Once again, he did it afraid and jumped right into the challenge. Which brings us to today, where Evans stands before us with a dulcet smile, plus a master's degree in his hand. How did he do it? He had to juggle between being a good husband, a good father, a good student, a good leader at his office, plus who knows what else he needs to handle on a day-to-day basis. Evans, please write a book about how to keep all these balls up in the air, because I still find it hard to fathom. One thing I learned, though, is that though he had to say yes to these difficult things, he also had to say no to many good things along the way. He didn't make it to every social gathering. He didn't take part in every new project. He had to pick and choose what to say yes to and what to say no to. That's part of the journey of high achievement, knowing when to say yes and when to say no. Evans, congratulations. Your unwavering determination serves as a beacon of inspiration to all of us, reaffirming the timeless adage that where there's a will, there's always a way. Here's to your success and bright future ahead of you following this great achievement. Congratulations, Evans. Back to you, Bwana TMOD.
Thank you very much, Edwin. You see why I wanted the, I wanted the Kaduki earlier. I had a whole monologue ready to debate it so I can make you guys laugh a bit. Eh? But now our fourth and last speaker, main event. So we have none other than a guest from a visiting Toastmaster, one Kanyiri Karaoke from Smart Speak Toastmasters Club. And when I asked him the question, what is the one thing in the last 1 year that he's done here? This was his response. I found it quite deep, if I may say so. And I would like for you guys to also listen. He said that in 2022, he got admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Right? It's worthy of a round of applause, right? His story doesn't stop there. He never quite settled the 85 formal practice of the job. I'm sure quite a number of us can. Right? Waking up in the morning, some traffic jam here and there, getting to work, you know, it can be what's the word, monotonous. Yes, that's the word, right? And so he pivoted into academia and practice of public international law, a path less traveled by most, let alone a young advocate. What is the outcome? Satisfying as it is, this path still jolts a little fear into him. To evaluate him is none other than Kendi Mwabila. Please help me to welcome Kendi to the stage so that she can explain to us what the project is about, the objectives, and the purpose of Mr. Kanyiri's speech. Kendi?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Kanyiri Karaoke will be delivering his speech from Project 1, actually the presentation mastery part, and he'll be delivering Project 1, Prepare to Speak Professionally. And this is level 5 of his speech. So kudos for getting to level 5, Kanyiri. The objectives of this speech is for him to deliver an engaging keynote speech, which may be humorous, informational, or any style he chooses to use. He's supposed to demonstrate excellent presentation skills and deliver compelling content. Kanyiri, I trust that your dulcet voice will delicately deliver an amazing speech. Kanyiri Karaoke, the hero's journey, Kanyiri Karaoke.
Is life not 1,000 times too exciting for us to study for a boring existence? These are the words of Friedrich Nietzsche, a German philosopher who lived 200 years, died of madness but left a lasting impression for today's society. In his words, I pondered within myself that is it worth settling for a life less than that which is worth it? To wake up in the morning to the mundane sounds of traffic, to the insults and the vulgarity of the matatu drivers, the moods and whims and swings of your boss. Have you submitted this project? Why am I paying rent for the office space you're occupying? When are you going to move out? That's my father. And the antidote to this I found in the words of Clive Staples Lewis. But one day you will be old enough to read fairy tales again. For those of us unfamiliar with his work, Clive Staples Lewis is a beloved author of the Chronicles of Narnia. C.S. Lewis is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Christian apologist. And another of his contemporaries, in terms of ability and prowess, Gilbert Keith Chesterton said, literature is a fantasy. Fiction is a necessity. Why do I insist on this, Toastmasters? You see, fiction is not a lie. Fiction may not be literal, but fiction is true. Fiction never happened, but yet we still believe it. Let us ponder within ourselves how this paradox explanation of our words works. For you see, there are deep patterns, deep recurring patterns in human nature, so deeply embedded in ourselves, absolutely no understanding of how they've settled to where they are. However, they do manifest themselves. How do you think they manifest themselves? Take a few seconds to think about it. In the way we tell our stories, in the way our myths and origins give us explanations how certain things come. For you see, human nature is such that it is painted upon a canvas through fiction, with a character. And the greatest of fiction portrays this image with the most profound human feeling. How many of us here have read Harry Potter? How many of us here have read Lord of the Rings? More or less than I can imagine. How many of us are fans of the Marvel Cinematic? Now, how many of us have read the myths and legends from our cultural backgrounds? Luanda Magere, Mekatilili Wamenza, few here and there. But are you able to trace amongst us a particular thread? Why is it that these stories last for years? Why is it that they have such profound truths that they can only be told through fiction? One of the most axiomatic being Jack and the Beanstalk. Simply put, listen to your mother. If she tells you go to the market and sell our only boy, do not come home with a bag of magic beans that you were sold by that stream. The other, if you look at the Scottish Highlands of Kericho and Nandi, is the Chesumot. How many of us know what a Chesumot is? The Chesumot is a Nandi bear that gave rise to the Nandi Bears Club. So the Chesumot was a humanoid creature that children would be not to stray too far away from the village, because out there in the great unknown, there is a danger. The Loch Ness Monster. Why is it that all these stories from communities that we cannot even begin to imagine at any contact bear certain truths to them? I'm giving a bit of a difficult homework. do in 5 minutes. However, worry not, that is why I'm here. James Campbell spent an entire lifetime studying the myths, stories, and legends from across the world and across the years. And he came up with a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And what did he find the common thread amongst all these stories? He called it the monomyth. Now, the monomyth has been described as the hero's journey. The hero's journey is separated into 9 steps. Worry not, I shall not speak about all 9 of them. First of all, because David justice to his work, and 2, to an even bigger disservice to deny to go look out. A brief summary of the hero's journey, or the steps that I am pretty sure, if not 100%, resonate each and every one of the Toastmasters here, can be summarized as this. Our hero begins sitting in their lives in an ordinary state. The second step of the hero's journey is their call to adventure. The third step of the hero's journey is when you seek assistance. The fourth step is when you overcome faith-based trials. We are only going to focus on those 4. And to elaborate these 4, allow me to tell you my Toastmasters and guests, good evening. My hero's journey, or my villain origin story, started 2 years. I was asked by a friend to give the opening remarks to a conference called the Manliness Project. I can see one of the. Now, the Manliness Project is a response to what society has seen and labeled as a crisis to masculinity. And the purpose of this project is to raise men who society can look upon strength. Candace Owen said, there is no society that has ever survived without a composition of strong men. May her message be hard to receive, but that is a profound truth. Now, let me take you back 2 years ago. I stood upon the lectern, such as this, looked at the audience, my vision blurred, my voice stuttered, and Toastmasters, like a hot knife through butter, I found wondering, what in God's good earth have I done up there? And as the great poet Eminem said, my palms were sweaty, arms heavy, and I took my seat. Thank God I did not vomit mouth. And when I sat back, I asked myself, how could I possibly reconcile with such a pitiable performance? And I remembered there is this club called Toastmasters. And therein lay my call to adventure. So I decided to join this club, Toastmasters. And within it, being a student of law, I delved deeper into the research. And where did my research take me? My call to adventure, as I have mentioned, was nothing spectacular. Following a rabbit in a waistcoat down. Nor was it enigmatic, like an email that Neo receives in the Matrix to follow them in a dystopian world. No, mine was pure embarrassment. But did I or did I not answer? I did. And where did it take me? It took me down the research of 2 professors of psychology, doctors Carol Mueller and Claudia Fett. Now, Carol Mueller and Claudia Fett took the time to research on what they called the performance of individuals who received different kinds of feedback during their formative years. Now listen close, it's very important for those of you raising children. There are two types of feedback. The first being identity feedback. The second being effort feedback. Identity feedback is whereby the child is given this sort of feedback. Oh, Kababa, you're such a smart. Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, you're such a brilliant storyteller. Oh, you're such an incredible sportsman. Effort feedback, however, is based on exactly that. The appraisal of the manner in which you apply yourself. Even if you got the sum wrong, I appreciate you took the time to do it. I appreciate the fact that you sought help when you found this thing. You applied yourself and you took the time. Any guesses on what the outcome of this is? Well, the children who received identity feedback ingrained it so deeply into their identity that whenever they were faced with situations where they had to apply themselves, they struggled. A high performer suddenly becomes a poor performer. And to further buttress this point, they put the same children through a test. A test that had questions that they could answer, questions that required them to apply themselves, and questions that they were completely out of their capabilities. Now, the children who received identity feedback opted to do the easiest question. Why? Because it reaffirmed the validation they got. The children, however, who were receiving effort feedback chose the questions that were harder. 16 years down the line, a study of the same students revealed that the ones who received effort feedback were doing much better than them. Because by reaffirming this identity feedback, it predisposition people not to apply themselves when faced with hard. Toastmasters, I was one of those children. I was thinking. That is why my response to such a pitiable performance led me to seek answers in the studies of psychologists. As a corollary to her study, Caroline Dweck led to what I prefer. I'm pretty sure all of us have had the dichotomy of there are two types of people. Those that do, those that do not. Those that have, those that have not. It's a dichotomy that juxtapose different kinds of situations. So what does Caroline do? She proposes that there are two kinds of people. Those that have a fixed mindset and those that have a fixed mindset find themselves in situations where they do not feel that our abilities are. We cannot take away at the start. But those with a growth mindset believe that through our effort, through our trials, through dedication and discipline, we can improve. Is that not why we to change whether we have a fixed mindset or whether we have a growth mindset? That was the second part of my journey. Accepting the help. What is the third part of the hero's journey? The trials and the tribulations. When you sit there and you hear first feedback of your evaluation, you want to think. So what did I do? Back into it. And I found another study by Stanford psychologist Professor of tenure, Ali, who linked the previous studies that if you have a growth mindset, coupled with a stress is enhanced mindset, you are capable of putting yourselves in situations, or as our TMOD so aptly, outside your comfort zone. The upshot of this is, depending on how you look at stress, whether it is good or debilitating, will determine your outcome. And I cannot for the life of me imagine any situation that is more stressful than standing in front of a crowd of strangers and speaking. And that is what we are here for. And so that is what I did. I sought the help of those around me. I went through my first evaluation. I did it. A few weeks ago, I tried out my first area contest. After winning the club contest, you find yourself with a certain air, you walk with a certain poise, that yes, I am that. I am who I say I am. Until the judges in the area contest call your name third out of 3. And then it hits you. Wait, minute. Maybe I am not exactly. And that's back to the truth. This is where James Campbell and his hero journey points to us, and he shows us, look, you will be faced by trials and tribulations. Think about Harry Potter. The last 2 books, when he had to find a ridiculous stuff trying to bring down. And by the way, I think Harry Potter was in terms of how he managed. Absolutely no way. Headmaster puts his student in that kind of trouble every single year and retains his job. The other Lord of the Rings, my favorite quote, 3 rings for the one in their halls of gold, 9 rings for the kings of men, and 1 ring for those born. And it was that 1 ring that a 4-foot-tall hobbit was asked to go on this great adventure to save Middle-earth. Therefore, I will reiterate, if there is anything that you must do, do it scared. Look upon yourselves, look within the humdrum of your daily life. Seek out your hero journey. Where does your call of adventure lie? Pick up the damn phone and answer it. I leave you with the words of Joan Kimberly. There is absolutely no way you can live a life without being terrible at something. Because to do so, you have lived so cautiously that in the end, it is certainly not a life worth living. And with that, you have failed by default. Toastmasters.
I didn't like the story is quite almost similar to mine. You know, going to a club contest, winning, walking with your head all up, and then going to the area contest and being told, yeah, number 3. I was at least number 3. Along his speech, he said something. He said, paradoxically, my paradoxical explanation. That's the moment I knew I was lost in that speech. But I was only recovered when he mentioned my name in the same sentence as a Stanford tenure professor, you know. And then I was like, yes, that's me, that's me. And I was like, in a while, I was like, Mama, I did it. Right now, we've had our 4 speeches. We had Joy Christine, who was the first speaker. We had Angela Kithua, who was the second speaker. We had Edwin Kaduki, who was the third speaker. And right now we had Mr. Kanyeri Karaoke as our fourth speaker. So right now we're going to vote. For the online members, a poll will come up. Kindly please vote. For the members in the room, please vote. We have a ballot like this. So we do not that's why we want to put any feedback for the all speakers. But for all those speakers, you're supposed to the best speaker on the ballot is better than you. The best speaker, first and most important. So right now you will be indicated. So in the voting on the ballot, indicate the best who you think. If you have any tips for the speaker, and then Joy Christine the first, Angela being the second, Edwin Kaduki the third, and Kanyeri Karaoke the fourth. You may indicate to them any feedback that you have. Now on the ballot, there's somewhere where it Toastmaster of the meeting. That's for me. So if you have any feedback for me, please write it there. Or even if you feel like I was the best TMOD that you've ever experienced, write it there. I'll receive that win. Yes. And with that, you're going to break for 5 minutes. Right now it's 7:45, so you're going to come back at 7:50. Oh, sorry, I'm being told we're going to break for 3 minutes, please. Okay, 3 minutes. So at 7:48, we'll be back here. Thank you very much. Oh, can I put it down? No. Here. And I'm coming back to do the so I'll give you a Yes. about 20 years ago, I was in primary school at Roraka Academy. That's the last time I remember ringing a bell like that. So thank you, Toastmasters, for helping me live my childhood again. Right now, we're going to the next session of which is evaluations. And here at Toastmasters, we say that evaluation is the breakfast of champions. And in here at the evaluation stage, the evaluators will not only give us the highlights of the speaker's strengths, but also recommendations on areas of improvement, even when they feel that the speaker. And I'd like for the guests that are in the room to please listen to how the evaluations will be delivered. This will form part of what I call my pitch for asking you guys to join Toastmasters, because I feel like evaluation is one of the best things of Toastmasters. How it is done, how it is applied, it's quite amazing. So please, I want us all to listen to here. And our first speech will be evaluated by none other than our VPE, Ms. Mawia Gishui. And the first speaker, remember, was Joy Christine. So please help me to invite Mawia Gishui to the stage so that she can present her evaluation.
Joy Christine, start to finish, start to finish. When you deliver this speech, you are speaking to my heart directly, because as an entrepreneur, I understand the character development you receive in business, especially in a city and in a country called Kenya. And what I really, really loved about your speech, or what you excelled at, was that you are writing a speech with a clear purpose of informing us how we can never entertain failure, especially in entrepreneurship. And through this speech, you are able to inform us how we can navigate the path of failure. And that's through taking time to develop essential skills to learn about business, that we should be able to find factors that will, or research solid opportunities in which we can invest in, so as to effectively navigate the path of entrepreneurship and to have a success mind. The purpose of each and every speech is different. And for this speech, you are able to categorically inform us. You did not entertain, you did not persuade, you are informing us on the skills we need to gain in order to excel at entrepreneurship. I love the pace at which you delivered the speech, and you are able to internalize your experiences and your stories when you talked about selling Gara clothes, the potato experience, and even your consultancy business. We were able to go through the motion and even lean into your speech, because you're showing us that you have done this in the past. What you want to improve in or challenge yourself is to vary your vocal variety. You had great opportunities to lower your voice. When you are sharing the story of the consultancy business, the doctor was the reason why our clients went away. When you vary your voice variation, you're able to grow in the audience, you're able to take time to reflect. You had a monotonic tone throughout your speech, and in future, I will encourage you to record yourself, see how your voice is variating throughout the speech, and through that, you will be able to draw in the audience. Overall, your speech was well structured, had a clear purpose to inform us on how to keep our entrepreneurship journey. I will recommend that you continue on in your speech level. Thank you.
Thank you, Mawia. Evaluating our second speech, which was delivered by Angela Kitua, is Francis Luguna. Francis, are you on?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Take it away.
Oh, okay. So Angela presented from Kakuma an online speech where she had a very good setup, where we could see the entirety of her expressions, basically the body language, and where we could even see the facial expressions, the eye contact, etc. So already by setting up the online presence for yourself, made it a bit easier to engage with the audience, albeit that an online presentation is a lot more challenging than a physical one. You used beautiful language, from the golden thread that the whole point of mentorship is, to taking us through your childhood where you were lost as an eighth born, and somewhere along in that hustle or in that bustle and in that sort of chaos, that the ignition of you finding your path through mentorship came through, and telling us a story about Betty, who of course you remember, for igniting that spark. Going back to your workplace, in terms of those people who nudged you, gently, and in the long run, that came off, as a tying up thread along the way, how subtle a lot of the mentorship happened in your life, all the way to the point that you have been thrust into priesthood, which was a very interesting addition to your topic, and tying it all up about mentorship in Toastmasters. So use of variety of stories and use of variety of experiences as a protege actually brought out to us the extent to which mentorship has really made a difference in your journey. I enjoyed really how well you used your grammar, how well you use the stage, and how confident you are as a speaker. What do I think you should think about in improving? I think in the what, which is what you are presenting, you helped us as the audience to somehow infer how mentorship helped you, because you always told us about a situation in which you are and how mentorship, by either by observing or by guidance, led you there. I would have wanted you to use maybe fewer examples, but for each example, you go into a lot more detail using stories, explaining how exactly the mentorship happened. So for example, when we say guide, what does it mean? So for example, for a guest in the meeting, what does guidance mean? We have had stories today about how people have exactly learned through mentorship. The next point is about the how. I would propose that for all these variety of delivery tools, gestures, vocal variety, you pick one at a time as you go through your projects and use and focus on building on that. For example, today I would have loved to have gotten more from your volume, up, down, tone, whether it's soft, whether it is going to be a bit more hard, and speed, which is the pace. There were still areas for improvement. But overall, great speech, great value for the audience, and I would not hesitate to say that you proceed to your next project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Njuguna. Our third speech was delivered by Edwin Kaduki, and I'm happy to announce that Jared is here online with us, and he'll give us the evaluation to Edwin's speech. So please help me in welcoming Jared Auko.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, and good evening, guests and members. Edwin Kaduki, as introduced earlier by Joyce Kaduki, was to deliver a social speech, and he chose a congratulatory path as a title. And as the evaluator, I was supposed to look at a few things, and one of them is the speech organization, the delivery, appropriateness of the speech, and then speech type, which is basically honoring somebody who has achieved a goal. And I sat in the shoes of Evans as the graduate, and I listened to the congratulatory message that was coming from the speaker who was doing this. And I believe the speaker excelled in sharing the thrill as he shared his speech. He also was very inspired by the goal that is achieved by the graduate. And he also looked at how ambitious it was in terms of the goal, which was also achieved. And he also brought in the hard work, which led to the graduation. So I was sitting there and I was thrilled, and I was listening and saying, wow, I really feel good about it. Well delivered. Congratulations, Kaduki. Perhaps we should consider working on the following. Share the pride as your own. Like, for example, say something like, I am so proud of you. Connect with that individual. Speak to the audience as the next thing. Consider speaking to the audience. You say, ladies and gentlemen, we said it once at the beginning, keep preferring, ladies and gentlemen, change it to somebody else. I'm coming to give a little bit more about that. You may also want to challenge yourself as areas of improvement moving forward. And that is having a conversation with a graduate. Say something like, Edwin, I can imagine how much time you took, wee hours of the night, to make sure that you prepare well for this. Congratulations. You had many things that could stand on the way, like your family. You put it aside to concentrate on this. Talk to the graduate and let him feel he belongs to that part of the congratulations. You may also want to consider going mute when you're done. When you're done with your speech, go mute. Also, consider looking at your, challenge yourself to look at the audio visual. How you appear, get your torso visualized so that the evaluator can see you well. Use sections of the crowd like the parents, the guests, use ladies and gentlemen. I think you did very well. And if you consider those, you will excel. Back to you.
Thank you very much, DTM Janet. Our fourth speech was delivered by Mr. Kanyiri will be evaluated by our very own Toastmaster, Kendi Mobila. Please help me a round of applause as we conduct Kendi.
There's a reason why they call them planet, because they indeed are planets. Kanyiri karaoke. I was engaged, I was enlightened, I was infused. That was a lovely speech. What are the three things that I picked up on that were excellent? Your grammar. You had grammar that if the king was here, you definitely spoke to his liking. Your excellent quotes, one after the other. I couldn't get all of them. I need your speech after this so that I write them on the side to use them at a speech later. Alliteration, your rhyme, your imagery, hot knife through butter, repetition for emphasis, that was phenomenal. The one thing that I loved most was your audience engagement. There's a key to getting your audience connected. Vulnerability. That is the one thing when we are ourselves, we give people around the room permission to be themselves. When you're able to share self-deprecating humor, to use self-deprecating humor, for example, as a way of, this is what I thought about myself when I went for the area contest, and this is how I performed. I was number 3 out of 3. I found that to be very real, relatable, and it connected with us because we've all had an experience where we thought we are the person, but we get there and we are quickly enlightened instantly that we are not the it person. The humor with the mix of rhyme. I'm sweating, palm sweating. Thank God I didn't spit my mom's spaghetti. Oh goodness, that had me. That had me. I loved your use of grammar throughout the speech. I mean, that was beautiful language. Now, what are the areas of improvement that I would want you to look into? going back to the audience engagement, at the very beginning when you started, the introduction was a bit lengthy and you almost lost us because it got a bit complex. And in my head, I started asking myself, where are you taking us? What is the objectives of this speech? Who is the hero that we had in the speech? And what is the journey that they're taking? So I would want you to work on your introduction because your introduction is your instant moment to connect with your audience. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity because sometimes it becomes a tedious task, bringing them back to your story and connecting with them, okay? Another thing, this was again at the very beginning, but I'm glad you picked it up, your facial expression. Let me tell you, you come across as a very intimidating person when you stand. And then now you start spewing this grammar, we even get a little bit shaken. But when you smile, when your facial expressions were a bit easy, now we were connecting with you. So work with that at the very onset, connect with your audience also through your facial expression. That being said, you met the objectives of the speech. This was an interesting speech, you had engaging delivery, and it was compelling content. With all honesty, I think that Toastmasters is just but the beginning for you. I look forward to seeing you in other stages. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thank you to Smart Candy. Right now, after the evaluations, it's time to vote for our best evaluators. So on the ballot, here on the ballot, just after 2 months of the meeting is the ballot. The first evaluator was Mawia Gishoki. The second evaluator was Francis Tuguna. The third evaluator was DTM Jared Ouko. And the fourth evaluator has been Kendi Mwabila. So we have Mawia Gishui, Francis Tuguna, Jared Ouko, and Kendi Mwabila. As you guys continue to vote, you can tally up there on the. Thank you. Now it's time to get our reports from our role takers. And we had 2 role takers for the day. First one is Aden Joseph, who was our grammarian. Aden, please kindly come and give us your report for the day.
First of all, I'd like to commend that this meeting had some beautiful language. Like the terms I had, some of them were beyond my comprehension. Like, for example, Joy Christine, during her first speech, she used phrases like, our hearts were crushed. That created that image in my head of how devastating the situation was. And that's what I liked about it. She also used this quote, you have to think of failure as the beginning and the middle, but never as the end. So that got me thinking, like, some of us, like, we complain because, we failed at the beginning. And we give up because the beginning was looking bad. But if we focus on the end, like we believe that at the end of this failure, I can make something out of it, then we'll be at a better situation. Edwin used terms like characteristic, zeal, beacon of inspiration, even used the proverb, where there's a will, there's a way. Kanyiri Karaoke, it was a long speech and I got a lot of things from it. Rhetorical questions such as, where does your call of your adventure lie? And phrases like, you can't live a life without being terrible at something. So I think it really got me thinking, And for the areas of improvement, which is a badly used language, I didn't find any. The word of the day, the number of times it's been used, sadly, it was used very few times. I don't know why. It's not a difficult word, but okay. Like, for example, Pascal used it once. Etiomodi and Book used it once. Edwin Kaduki used it once. Kendi Mobila used it once. And total, that's about 4. Yeah. Thank you.
our grammarian today. He did it so well with a dulcet smile, right? Plus one there. Our next role taker is Fidel, who was also happened to be our timer for the day. Fidel, kindly give us our report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Timothy. My report will be succinct and to the point. Our first speaker, that is Joy Christine, took 6 minutes, 13 seconds, which was well within this 5 to 7 minutes time. Angela Kithua took 6 minutes, 52 seconds. Edwin Kaduki took 3 minutes, 38 seconds. And Kayuki Kanyiri took 19 minutes and 1 second, all well within time. On to our evaluators, Moyegi Shui took 2 minutes, 37 seconds. Francis Njuguna took 3 minutes and 57 seconds. This was slightly above the slotted time. Joyce DTM Jared Oko took 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Aiden took 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And somebody must have been timing me. How many minutes have I done? Yes, and thank you so much, Mr. Tim.
Thank you for your elaborate reports. Now, on to our last evaluation, which happens to be from our master evaluator. Remember earlier where I told you guys will experience excellence? You remember that time? Do you remember? I can't hear you. Do you guys remember? Now, the next speaker or the master evaluator happens that on her first speech, she was evaluated by none other than your TMOD. And today, she's going to evaluate how I have run the meeting. This is excellent. So to give us feedback on how we ran our meeting today is none other than our master evaluator, Vivian Ayuma. When I asked her what is the one thing that she did scared in the last 1 year, this is what she said. She attempted to climb Mount Kenya's highest peak, Batian, which happens to be 5,199 meters. When's the last time you had that 5,199? Geography, primary school, right? And while she did not get to attain to Batian, she managed to reach to Nelion Peak, which is 5,188 meters, which happens to be the second highest peak. How many people can say that they have gotten to Nelion? Not so many, right? What is the outcome? She learned through her fear, and with experience and more confidence, she reckons that the next time she attempts Batian, she'll reach it. So please help me to welcome Vivian Ayuma to the stage.
Well, thank you, Timothy. You make me feel like a very accomplished mountain climber with that introduction. No, but yes, it was in line with the theme of today, doing everything scared. I know one of the recommendations I'll make is on managing time, and I'm here way past my time. I was supposed to be here at 8:10, 4 minutes late, not too bad. So we have managed time quite well, based on the timer's report. The president started the meeting right on time, not KQ time, SGR time. You're here at 8:30, 30 seconds, she was already off and going. So that's very commendable. Everything was set up. I like the fact that I've seen the ring light for the first time. I can say that it made the online viewers experience much better because it highlighted the speakers who are here. The lantern as well, it's placed quite well. The distance between the speakers and the lantern is in such a manner that people don't have to adjust the laptop every time they come to the front, whether you're tall or short. So that again saved a lot of time, and I believe it enabled the online viewers to have a more enriching experience. I love the fact that there was a warm meet and greet at the door. Everyone felt they were welcome to this meeting. And I like the fact that we introduced Toastmasters quite well. The president introduced Toastmasters quite well, including the values that I always find quite aligning to my personal values. The Toastmaster of the day, we were quite well prepared. All the roles were filled out way before the meeting. I didn't see any changes in the program other than the little interchange when we were having a hard time reaching one of the evaluators, Jared, but you transitioned through that quite well. The intro was so funny, enthusiastic. People were tired from a long day of work, but you were so engaging. First of all, I was so excited. I saw a music video. I thought you'd make us dance. So it already made me so excited to come into the meeting. You used a lot of humor. I'm looking forward to the, I hope, a song, time allowing at the end. But you really introduced the topic well. So did you introduce the key role takers? Introduced everyone quite well. You were well prepared, well done. Role takers, you also did such an amazing job. The timer, I like the fact that when you put the wrong color of the placard, you recovered well, right in line with the theme of the topic today, doing it scared. I love the fact that our new member took on a role. Congratulations. You did it so well. You didn't look scared at all. You did it so well. The word of the day was also well displayed, quite clear. What I would recommend is for the definition to just a font size or two bigger, because I couldn't see from where I was seated, including the one that, so that people can refer to it often and use it often during their speeches. Also try to share it early enough, at least 2 or 3 days before the actual day today, so that people can get acquainted with it, start using it, start inserting it mentally into their speeches. But it was quite a good one. I've never had it in my life, so I'm going to use Dulcet more often instead of pleasant. So well done, grammarian. Oh, evaluators, wow, you did such a great job. You explained all the purpose of the speeches quite well. The program had an error in one of the speech numbers, two instead of 3. However, that evaluator, who was Francis, was well aware and flagged it out in the introduction, the second speaker. I love all the feedback that was given. It was quite thoughtful and useful, even for people who had not made speeches. Well done to the evaluators. In general, I've spoken about the time. We started on time, but we've not managed the speeches quite well. We finished 15 minutes after the allocated time. However, we've been able to recover, I believe, by taking a shorter break and a more efficient, well-paced transition after that. The technical challenges for the online, I would just suggest perhaps we get a stronger internet connection so that we can improve on internet connectivity. It was quite difficult hearing the second speaker. Some sections, a huge part of her speech for us were attending in person were not quite audible. So that is it for me today.
A round of applause, please. Sorry for that. So again, first of all, thank you very much to each and every one of you for starting with the speakers who graced us with their fantastic speeches today. The evaluators also came in here. The role takers, Aiden, Fidel, thank you very much. And to all of you, the guests, each and every one of you just to come here, sit and enjoy the speeches and make it a lively one. Thank you very much. Having said so, allow me now, I finished with the humor in the first section, so let me get a little bit serious. My name, as I alluded to you earlier, is Ian Bugi Wakarofia. I am proudly a Kikuyu. When you talk to people, where I come from, when you talk to people and you ask them, how are you doing? How are you faring? The response they give you, no kogeriatu. Loosely translated in, I'm just trying, right? Now, Upon further investigation, you soon find out that the person telling you this is probably one of the richest individuals you have ever encountered, boasting of a line of franchises, mainly hardwares, and a string of real estate developments. Maguta. That to mean land. We like a lot of land and have a lot of hardwares here and there, right? This is meant to showcase humility when speaking about wealth, and also to illuminate a deeper meaning that irrespective of where you are in life, you're just trying, I say, doing it scared. In this month, I have onboarded and engaged 2 clients and began on a 3 to 4 month consultancy on their personal debt management. By the end of the coming month, I hope to have fulfilled the necessary requirements and have registered my financial wellness consultancy practice with a bias in debt management on the side. Guess what? I am doing it scared. Contrary to what you may have learned, you do not have to have it all figured out, all the little nitty-gritty steps. All you have to do is just make the first steps. Wobbly knees, butterflies in your stomach, sweaty palms, voice cracking. Yes. What did he say? Mouth spewing, and all other physical manifestations of doubt, fear, or anxiety notwithstanding, embrace the present and just do it. Do it scared. The world, myself included, is waiting for what you have to offer. So please, fellow Toastmasters and guests, do it scared. Thank you very much for being a fantastic audience. Thank you very much for allowing me to enjoy my first TMOD ever. And I say, never will I ever fear doing another TMOD ever again. Why? Because I've done it. And I was amazing, right? I was amazing, right? Thank you very much. Over to you, Madam President.
My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, online as well as physically, I must acknowledge that we have had a dulcet meeting that has been led by a dulcet TMOD with a lot of demeanor and excellent audience connection. Kindly let's give him a round of applause for doing it. Exactly. You are one of the best TMODs I've had from very long. I'm not kidding you. I'm not trying to make you feel good. You are good. Yeah. Now, I'd like to welcome the SAA to come and give us who the best or the better speakers for the day were. Okay. SAA, kindly join me here. Okay, as he's trying to finalize on that, once again, I'd like to welcome those members who joined us online. They joined us a bit late. I'd like to appreciate the first time, or rather, I'd like to appreciate members of Toastmasters who are joining us from other clubs. That is, Dan Odera from K Toastmasters, as well as Anne from the Hill. Let's give them a round of applause. And the guests online, Elizabeth Ruto and Nicholas Guantai, thank you so much for joining, as well as the rest of the first-time guests who joined us and you came in after. I'd already appreciated the other members. Thank you. SAA, let me know when you're ready. And as we are waiting for him to let us know, I'd like to get 1 or 2 members from the physical meeting and probably one from online meeting to give us in 2 minutes, or rather in 1 minute, what was your feel or what was your take about our meeting? Any of us? Evening. Okay. No, once again, not K. Thank you so much. Coming from you, we are honored. Thank you so much. Any guess? Your take in 2 minutes? What is your take? I don't want to point fingers, anyone. You're starting your journey as a Toastmaster. Feel the fear and speak. Yes, please. Good evening. Very good. Thank you. Elizabeth Kipruto or Nicholas Montani? Or anyone for that matter online? Okay. If nobody is coming up, any word, I'd like to get back to appreciating the first-time role takers. First of all, the first-time role taker as a grammarian, that is Aiden Gidai. He's only been in Toastmasters for, is it 1 month? He's only been here for a month. Let's give him a round of applause. He's joined in, he's a member, and he's already started taking his mid roles. First-time role taker as well, Ian Boogie, the first Toastmaster of the day. And last but not least, Vivian Ayuma, the first time she's picking up the role of general evaluator. Thank you. Hey, SA, think we're good to go? Come and let us know. Okay, we can see best evaluator, Kendi Mwabila. Congratulations. And the best speaker, I mean, goes without saying, Kanyiri Karaoke. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We are truly, we've learned so much. I believe we've all learned something. We are not living here the same way that we came in. We have learned, we've been entertained, and above all, we are moving out of this place different. To all the new members, or rather the people who are coming in for the first time, we request you for 5 minutes of your time, 5 minutes only, so that we can run you through what Toastmasters is all about, get some questions or get some comments from you, and then we are so ready and willing to sign you in as members of Kwanza Kenya Toastmasters, where leaders are made. My last notice for today is that the renewal of membership is ongoing. Deadline 30th of this month. We're looking at a week to go. I urge each of us who has not yet made their payments, kindly do so through our Toastmaster, Mr. Moneyback, Ian Boogie. Okay, and because I don't think there's anyone else have any comments. Yes, please. Yes, kindly. Oh, yes, yes. Please come here because the people online.
District 114 for Christmas is here in the form of Toastmasters East African Conference. Have you bought your tickets? We will talk after the renewal. You'll have to excuse me. Tomorrow we are having a podcast, a TCON podcast that's taking place online. If you have been following the update, ticket currently is going for $120. But if you want your club to get an offer, an exclusive offer for $100 for 24 hours, tune in tomorrow, type your club name in the chat, and whichever club gets the highest attendance, they get the exclusive offer for $100 for 24 hours. Thank you. District 114 YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, type District 114. I will share the poster in our club group, and it starts at 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay. Very last one. This is virtual, so that people.
Hello everyone, my name is Jerome Kimani, and it's interesting that I am home for the first time. So Kwanza Kenya is the club, our parent club, and I think that sounds well. It's a parent club of many clubs, but I'm part of Toastmasters Gavel Club, so the first Gavel Club, actually the second Gavel Club in the country, and probably the most successful. So being here in person is amazing, seeing where it all started in Kenya, and hope to be here again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, with all those accolades from all around, we are leaving this place feeling so good about Kwanza Kenya Toastmasters. And the fact that you came and you're part of what we've had here, and even those who are online, thank you once again for joining us. I'd like to welcome you for our next meeting, which will be a physical one. That will be on the 9th of April, next month. 9th of April. It will be a physical meeting, and please, we are all welcome to come and join us and let the fun which has begun today, let it continue. And as we leave you for the night, I want to wish each and every one of you a very wonderful Easter holiday. We are in that season of Easter. You all know Easter is the reason for the season. So for every last one of you, have a happy Easter and be good wherever you go. And with that, 974 is hereby adjourned. Thank you so much. You're free at any time.